We are going to call this meeting to order. It is October 6th. All rise for the for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Cindy, you're up for singing the national anthem now.
Right.
Yeah. All right. I do have a few additions to the agenda, and I apologize for that. We need to, under new business, have a discussion about gas cards for the fire department. Under new business, we need to appoint Emily Patno to a vacancy on the rec board. Under old business, we need a brief discussion about EMS response. And also under old business, a discussion about preschool pay. That is all I have. Can I get a motion?
What about me?
You were under the treasurer's report, but Cindy would like to speak under the treasurer's report, so we'll add that in there too.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Perfect. Chair's remarks. The only thing that I have is today is October 6th. It is my mother's birthday, so happy birthday to my mother. And I would not be able to be here or be anywhere that I am without the love and support that she has offered me when I wasn't always deserving of it. So thank you, Mom. Love you. Happy birthday. Open public comments on agenda items only. Seeing none. Guests, we've got two representatives from BCTV. We have Chief Emery, we have the Turnleys, and did I see somebody else?
Kathy.
Oh, Kathy. All right. Perfect. We will move into a department committee report from Mr. Emery. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. And it seems to be routine that I come back and bring you either good news or bad news. The news isn't so great this time. Vermont is in the process of seeing some of the counties change to different colors. Our neighbors in Massachusetts, I was told earlier, is seeing significant changes in their colors of as the COVID expands into more people. However, Vermont still is doing very well by its stand alone. The governor's conference today, they felt confident that they're still well in control of it. I think they had a large outbreak in the Northeast at one of the orchards that was talked about today. And that was a large number of people that had come in to pick apples. So they feel that they're going to be able to do the tracing and tracking very effectively on that. With that though, probably one of the most important things is this is flu season. Flu season is definitely going to hit, and it's going to come. And if someone gets the flu, there's no real distinction between the flu and COVID right now without having a test. So it's very important if people get flu symptoms, they need to stay home, they need to be, treated, and talk to your primary care physician. That's really important. Flu shots are available, strongly encouraged even for those that don't like to do that. It's strongly encouraged that you do get a flu shot. You can do that again through your primary. Or I understand BMH is actually, your primary can set it up where you can do a drive-through. But talk to your primary physician about doing that. The school is, as you know, doing well. They have got everything in line with their hybrid attending, and that seems to be working well. Mary sent a thing out today, and they're very happy with what's happening at the Vernon school. The key thing again, and as you know, masks now have been identified as a should have made it mandatory before we did, or before the state did. It is now identified as a very positive thing. They're also saying that maybe the 6 feet might be too short of a distance, but with the mask, you're under control. So with that, things are pretty much in Vernon. I don't want to say status quo, but doing well. So any questions or anything that I can answer for you? That's all my notes. And Mark's note is on, I think, somewhere over there.
Yeah, we don't seem to have anybody that.
I talked with Mark earlier, the health officer, and he said he was gonna Zoom in, but maybe if no one's in there, maybe they don't have a connect. You don't have anyone?
I don't see anyone, no.
Okay.
I'm wondering
so maybe-
about Linda and.
Oh, he just texted me, and he says, you can't log into the meeting.
Cool.
Did he send out a correction to the login?
Yeah, Tim did.
Yeah.
I thought you couldn't use Zoom from this room.
No,
Yeah,
the, we got the Wi-Fi, we got the Wi-Fi,
Linda
we
can't
got
get
some
either.
new goods here.
Oh, okay.
The number comes up as an invalid number for the meeting.
Well,
Thanks, Mark.
quite nice.
Yeah, except that somehow we gotta get in touch with Linda. I'm
So
not sure.
what number do you have?
That's what I was trying to compare here.
829 364 40749.
No,
Oh,
No,
I don't have my
not even
phone. I don't know
close.
if that's old or new one.
it's 852-240-3955. Yeah, Tim did send out an updated one.
Yeah, his emails just said that it didn't, first one didn't have the info.
Well, this is not good. And here you are with all the good news that we're stuck in Zoom land for a lot longer, huh?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you have a number?
Um,
I'll try to-
Well, I don't know, he tried that one, he's probably,
I think that it's,
You can get the number from the top right corner usually.
yeah, I think
407
364?
Yeah.
829-364.
40749.
I'm so sick of this
What's
stuff.
up, so what do you do?
Yeah, we'll
I
find out.
didn't bring my phone, so I don't know.
Yep, the one on the video is valid. We're allowed to do it.
The one that's on the agenda.
Which number is that?
It's
Lincoln from?
the 829-3644.
Oh, okay, so that's invalid.
Yep,
Okay.
so
But the
the
bottom's got 79 written in
the correct number is going to be 852. Are you texting him, Chief?
I'm trying to. 852
2403
2403
6955.
I'll put that on Facebook.
Was there any other questions for Chief Emery while we attempt to correct this?
How's your house coming?
Planning on being in it before Thanksgiving.
Whoa.
That's why I'm in dirty clothes. So it's,
Wonderful.
yeah. It's
I can stop someday when I travel by.
yes, you stop by anytime.
You don't know
Anytime.
it's me because I don't have my truck anymore. I wave, but you don't.
Oh, I don't, yeah, I
No.
don't recognize you not in your truck.
I don't know.
You don't have a truck?
First time in like 25 years.
You must be lost.
I'm getting, it's much more economical than, but,
Yeah.
Michael.
Once
There's
it's
a
sorted out,
lot
we
of
take
trucks on the
participants.
farm.
Yeah, he's got some people over there. Okay.
I'll move it, yep.
What are you driving?
I have a, Chevy Equinox, white.
Okay, wait, okay. I have to pay attention.
So the first email didn't have the Zoom info, but they both have the same Zoom info.
Goodness.
Oh.
I cannot wait to not have to do this stuff anymore. I don't know when that's going to be, but.
The only time coming.
Shh.
Sorry.
Shh. All right. I think that having no other questions for you, Chief, I think we are all set. And we will slowly move into the approval of minutes in hopes that this gives people some time to join us.
Do you want me to hang around for that other discussion, that, or is there anything that I need to know, or?
I will leave that entirely up to you, Chief. Which one are we talking about?
Something about the fire,
Yes.
rescue squad? Rescue-
That is all information that you have. Just going to decide on the actual date to allow them to respond.
Okay.
And we have a letter from, or I'm sorry, we have permission from Brattleboro Chief and Rescue Inc. So, did I forward that to you today? I'm not certain that I did.
Have a copy.
At any rate, you are welcome to, I just need that back.
People are gonna be upset you didn't give them a link. I'm just giving you shit, but you know it's gonna be the first complaint.
All right, so, approval of minutes, please. We have quite a few of them there.
They're also gonna need the password. Because all of a sudden we have passwords.
What?
I've never had to,
It's, cause there's different persons setting them up now, right?
no, it's still the same account.
It's the same account.
Yeah, but it's the settings that change that.
Oh, I have no idea. Nothing has ever printed us a. You know, we have spent more time looking stupid over this Zoom stuff than any,
It's on there.
and I'm pretty good at looking stupid all on my own. Yep, Ken just said passcode needed.
So that last number was 852-240-36955?
Yep.
Yes, they're saying it needs a passcode, which I don't.
That's, yeah, I'm trying to log into it to make sure it works. Tell me I need one.
Should've got my phone.
I got no idea.
Do you have the Zoom app on here?
I'm logging in, I need a passcode.
I usually just hit my app and then go from there.
It's, I got the same thing, it's saying you need a passcode to go any further.
Mark's getting invalid meeting.
Oh, goody.
Can you adjust any of the settings while it's already going? Probably not.
Worst case scenario, you could start a new meeting
I
and
was
send
just
that
gonna
out.
say
No
that, can
password.
you do that now? And make up one of these.
Anybody is quicker with this than I am, please by all means
Never.
step in.
Never have access.
Good night for you to be here, huh?
Just an idea, we should probably change the password for that. We haven't.
Every committee has access to it.
No, but certain people don't work for us anymore due to probably.
So when Mark tries to get in, he says the message he gets says it's an invalid meeting link.
Yeah, it's because the links don't work. That number he gave us is what you can use, but then it needs a password after.
Which I can't find a setting in here to tell me what that is.
Yeah.
So even here, it does not give a passcode. This is a new meeting and,
Yeah, you should have been that whole
oh my God, what is happening here?
I can take a look if you want.
Yeah, please.
I'm
I
not
mean, I've
positive
got
I know
the,
what to do, but we can try.
this is what's coming up to start a new one, but I don't see
Okay.
any passcode or anything.
So this is a brand new one, or is this
Yep,
one you
this-
were
This
using?
is a new one.
Okay. So yeah, it looks like
Doesn't have a passcode attached to it. So then it should just have a waiting room
Oh, wait.
label.
yeah.
What about 214823? That's a passcode for tomorrow.
14832.
13, I think it was on the list. There was. Great, now where did I go? Okay, tonight.
Seen it on one,
This
but not
one's-
tonight.
There's no passcode on tonight's.
No. What'd you say that code was?
Hold on. The passcode tomorrow is 214823.
Doesn't work for tonight.
In terms of the football game, so he can't really help us.
Well, we're gonna start this. I just posted to Facebook. We will see what happens. This is crazy. We were just buying time so Heather could get here.
I was like, where is everybody? We're here.
We were hiding.
Did you get all your stuff? Yes. Did you get some more? I'll keep thinking, probably for next one.
Does work.
I should
Fill
have
it.
all everybody stands still.
Yeah, you gotta look behind you though, and then you're never gonna see it.
51 weeks apart.
Thanks for letting me in.
I hate you. Oh, man. All right, I'm gonna try and get this back to order. I'm sorry for the confusion. Hopefully we get this Zoom thing figured out just in time for it to be a thing of the past, which I don't see that happening anytime soon. So,
Whose iPhone?
It's me, I'll leave.
Okay.
I wanna make sure it works. I'm leaving.
It was a
I'm still here though.
crash test.
all right, so let's get back to the approval of minutes. We have September 15th, which was a regular meeting. September 16th was a budget meeting. September 16th, we had an emergency meeting. September 20th, we had an emergency meeting. September 30th, we had a budget meeting.
I don't have any changes. Did you have any?
I typed them, I think I should say.
What's that?
I typed and said,
I know.
I didn't catch anything.
All right, we got Mary Lynn in here, so we're getting somewhere now.
All right.
If I can do it, anybody can.
Well,
There you
it was
go.
us that was struggling here.
What number did she dial?
I just posted it onto Vernon's Facebook page. I created a new meeting and all of the information. I just took a picture. It's all on the Vernon Facebook page right now.
It worked.
All right, perfect. So, meeting minutes.
1, 2, 3, wait, no. Thanks.
I move that we accept all those minutes as written. Do I have to say all the dates and things again? No. I don't have any changes.
Moved and seconded to accept September 15th regular meeting, September 16th budget meeting, September 16th emergency meeting, September 20th emergency meeting, September 30th budget meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next, we have the treasurer's report. And Cindy has asked to join us this evening. At our last meeting, we had a brief discussion about reopening this building. And at that meeting, I had said something to the effect of the treasurer's office was the one that was queried. And Cindy and I have had a good conversation, I felt, after that. A misunderstanding that we had, but you wanted to join us and just speak to that. So, yeah, please, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I just have 4 things that I wanted to say. The first one is that it was stated at that meeting that someone had complained about not getting receipts for the first installment of the 2021 taxes. After further investigation, I found that this particular person's property taxes are paid through the escrow company. It has been the policy of my office not to give out receipts for properties paid through escrow, as the escrow companies provide documentation to their clients concerning what they have paid. Secondly, we have hundreds of payments that are paid through escrow, and it would take a long time to provide a receipt for each one. That having been said, I have a number of people that call me and ask if their payment has been received. We are always happy to hear from anyone, and I'm happy to assure them that their payment has been received. Likewise, if someone's taxes are escrowed and they still want to receive a receipt, all they have to do is call our office at 257-3077 or email me at treasurer@vernonvt.org, and I will be happy to send a receipt out to them. I ask people to please not rely on Facebook to get messages to my office. I do not go on Facebook frequently, and your message might not get received. If you email me and I do not get back to you within 24 hours of a working day, please feel free to reach out again, as it may have gone into my junk mail. The second issue I want to speak about is the one that concerns me the most. It was stated at that meeting that payments were not getting properly posted. I find this statement to be especially alarming, as I do not want people thinking that I take my job lightly and I would be so reckless with taxpayers' money. Also, the process for posting payments does not allow for error. I post the payments myself, and after posting the payments, or entering the payments, I add all of the money up and I print what we call a cash receipts report. The money and the cash receipts report have to equal the same thing. If they don't, I go through each one and look to see where I found where their error was, and I correct it. I'm not human, I can make mistakes, I can accidentally punch in a wrong number and put a wrong parcel in. But the likelihood that that parcel would have the same exact amount due as the correct parcel is like astronomical. I mean, you might as well buy Powerball tickets. But I want everyone to know that we are very careful. After I do my portion of the job, Kathy does her portion. So if I miss something, she would catch it. So I found that quite alarming. I do not want people to think that we are reckless with money, with our taxpayers' money. During this difficult time of COVID-19, we are all sailing in uncharted waters. The health and well-being of our residents, as well as my fellow employees, has always been my top concern. The drop box on the Governor Hunt side of the building was added by another department, but soon we found that people wanted to drop their payments into the box instead of mailing them. I want to assure everyone that I check the box first thing in the morning when I get here at 6 a.m., and we check it periodically throughout the day. If you drop anything into the box, feel free to contact the office the item should go to and ask if it's been received. You can reach the town clerk's office at 257-0292, my office at 257-3077. Lastly, I would like to ask the select board, in the future, if someone has an issue or concern having to do with my office, that I be asked to attend a meeting. If the topic comes up in the course of a meeting and I am not here, I am always available by telephone, and you all have my home number if a response is needed immediately. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Cindy. And I appreciated the conversation that you and I had the other day.
Yes.
And I certainly hope that we can continue that, and that all of the departments here in town and committees, that we can have that open communication and make sure that we're all on the same page. So again, anybody that was not able to hear that, I won't reiterate all of it. It will be posted, but the direct line for the treasurer is 257-0377.
Sorry. My mic out mute.
Okay. So 257-0377.
3077.
3077. See, I'm full of misinformation. Treasurer's direct line 257-3077. If you have any questions about any payments or anything related to the treasurer's office.
That's like a swap shop.
All right.
That would be a lot.
Any questions for Cindy? Anything else?
No,
Okay.
thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Bills and warrants, please.
Alrighty. Chairman, I move that we approve payment of the following warrant. 7T accounts payable, $1,048,040.01. 37S payroll, $9,817.98. 38S payroll, $7,946.03. And 39S payroll, $6,465.84.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Perfect.
Who's Alan?
That would be Ally West. Cindy, before you, could I ask
didn't say
you?
anything. I just wanted to say hi, and I'm here, and I think you guys are amazing.
Well, thank you. I totally
How do
lost
I
it.
mute myself?
The gas cards. Is there any gas cards in a safe upstairs that you are aware of?
No,
Thank
not
you.
that I'm aware of. I believe we gave them all out.
Yeah, I think they were all given out.
Okay,
And
perfect.
none was purchased last fiscal year.
Correct. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There we go. It takes a minute.
Kevin, it was nice to see you out and about.
Good to see you. Enjoy.
All right. Let's see. Linda, I'm going to come up here and I am going to unmute you. Maybe. Does that say unmute?
I can't,
I don't know.
it's really blurry from an angle.
Yeah, it's not any clearer here.
She has to unmute
That's the
herself.
unmute. There you go.
Okay.
Just a second, they wanted me to unmute. Are you talking to me?
I am, Linda. We are up to the joint meeting with the Capital Plan Committee, and you are the only one that's joined us, and I suspect that that's probably because I...
She called and texted me.
I'm on the phone with Sandra right now.
Okay.
She,
I emailed it out to the whole list.
and
too.
Tom is, I gave them both the number, but I'll call them back and make sure they have the right number.
Linda, I posted well, I think you also received an email, but it is on Facebook. I'm going to move on to a couple other agenda items, and we'll circle back to you if that works.
That works fine.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So we are going to skip the first two items in new business. We're going to skip the first three items in new business. Fire department gas cards. So as we just heard from the treasurer, there has been no gas cards purchased for the members of the Vernon Fire Department and the EMS for fiscal year, what would that be, 18, 19, and 19, 20. So we have a list here for members deserving of gas cards for this current year. Unfortunately, 2019, there's not much that we can do about it. The total owed is $2,740.
Was this summary, did they keep track of this at the fire department? Is that how this got?
This was kept by one of the previous officers.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm a little bit,
I don't like the fact that, I don't wanna pay officers, cause they should have made sure that this was done. They shouldn't have came to this now, cause that's their job, to take care of their people. I'm all for paying all the rest of them.
And actually, the first 6 months of this is the previous fiscal year. Fiscal year we're in right now started July 1.
Yeah. Oh my
So we're
God.
taking a burden of last year onto this year if we just do this by the calendar year.
I am beyond disappointed, irritated, and quite honestly embarrassed that we have 30 some odd men and women from this town, from our community, our neighbors, that are willing to respond to emergency calls to protect our families, meanwhile taking them away from their own. And they were not given a small token, very small, $5 worth of gas for each car or each call that they attend. And they were not paid for that. I agree with Michael that anybody that was in the officership that had knowledge of this and did not push either the higher leaders or fight for the men and women that were serving under them, I agree that they don't deserve a penny of this money. But we do have a lot of other fire and EMS people there that, some of them are owed $300, $235, $235, $235. There's a lot of people that have given a lot of their time to helping our community So I'm not sure what we want to do. There clearly has been no gas cards purchased. So that means that money is there, with the exception of what Gene just raised, that some of this is for the previous fiscal year. So I can certainly get that broken out. My suggestion is that we break that out. We go from July 1 to today, and we issue checks to those people, barring the officers, if everybody is in agreement with that. Thoughts?
So, what indicates an officer? Like, how far down the line is it it's not like the C designation?
Well, it would be C's, yep. And
Okay.
then I do not believe that the KO1, I do not believe he was an officer at that time, and the PO3 was also not an officer at that time. So it would be C1 to C7 that would that would not, if we chose to go that way.
Did C7 have that really had anything to do with it?
Well, from Michael's standpoint, that in an officership,
Their job to take care of who's below them. They got that position. They're in a leadership position.
Okay, I'm
Maybe.
just wasn't sure.
Maybe it's different in the fire department.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Well, I will pipe in my 2 cents.
let's go.
I think given the circumstances where we are right now, I think I understand what you're saying and I don't disagree, but I think because the ties have been severed and we're looking to create something new, that it would be a good thing to, because they put in the time,
Yeah.
you know, and they did what we expected of them other than maybe buck the system. So if you put in the time, then I don't think that they should be extinct from that right now. I do think that it would be a good way to sever, and everything from here is brand new. So that would be my 2 cents.
Thank you.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. So we are talking about July, August, September. We're talking 3 months. And I would have to go and have that broken out, and we can do that. I do think that we could still hold a vote so that we could get those checks issued, and instead of everybody waiting around for so much longer. Sandy?
Well, some of these people, I don't know, I would almost like to see them get it. Go right back just to the sole list. Go back to January. Only because we didn't do it before. Although we asked time and time again, we were told they were being given out. I don't know.
Just kind of a fiscal year concerns. I mean, I agree with that because we were
Yeah,
told, and who knows what they were told.
right.
It's gonna blow the budget big time.
Yeah, it definitely is, because it's already,
That's it.
Mhm.
It's already.
That's true. It's already
you know,
over
that's
budget.
That's the hard part,
Mhm.
because I'd have no issue with, they definitely deserve this,
Right.
but you do
I-
have to manage things within the right budgets here, and these last fiscal year is closed out.
I think we need to start at July 1, and that way there is something left to give for the new members that join the department for the rest of the year.
Because there won't be anything left.
We can't tap into travel and conference.
I don't believe so. We have 4 people that are signed up for firefighter 1. There's also going to be some EMS requirements coming up.
We just had some bills come through. from
Oh,
other
that's
fiscal
right. Yeah,
years
actually,
that have
yeah.
to pay for courses.
Yeah,
They
so the
came from a
EMS
different fiscal
training
year.
budget is about none right now.
We have $4,500 from this year's budget for training, travel reimbursements, and training, travel, and conference.
The EMS training, travel, and conference is going to be empty.
Okay,
And it, like Gene said, based off from a 2019 bill.
But never got paid. And there's a whole bunch of EMS getting recertified, so.
and it's so frustrating, because these are the ones that did the work, and they're the ones that
Right.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we go back to July 1, we pay everybody that is owed to present day, and then we get on track with a clean slate moving forward.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right.
People in the waiting room.
Oh, thanks, man. God, I need people here to do.
Admit all the way to the right.
Next time, throw something at me. Respond quicker. All right, that's all set.
Okay, whose iPhone? Yeah, or at least tell us who you are.
Who is in here as iPhone? All right then.
No, wait a minute, pictures coming in.
Oh, that's Linda up
That's
there.
Linda.
Next, we have Seth Theo has asked that we put Emily Patno into the vacant seat on the Recreation Board that was left vacant from Shannon, who has resigned that position. Seth made it clear that Emily is involved in coaching sports that we have. She is also very active in recreation activities, and he feels that she would be a tremendous fit for this board. Could I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to appoint Emily Patno to the vacant seat on the rec board, which expires in 2022. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Awesome. All right, it looks like we have the majority. Oh, we have them all here. So let's jump back to the joint meeting with the Capital Plan Committee, and we have Tom, Sandra, and Linda joining us.
Hello?
Can anybody else hear us up there? Tom, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
And I can hear Sandra.
Linda, if you could unmute yourself.
I'm unmuted.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Good. Aren't you lucky?
Excuse me, if you can hear me, I can't hear you.
We can hear you.
Yes.
Turn up your
I can hear
volume.
you.
Is your volume up?
No, you know what?
Volume.
Sometimes it asks you how you
I
can sign
can't
into audio.
hear.
Because she
No
didn't sign
audio
in right.
from
It's
you.
her computer settings, it's not us. If everybody else is fine.
Yeah, because my iPad, you have to hit
Yeah, he thinks turn it
sign
on.
in by internet, audio by internet.
All right. So we were.
Sandra's muted.
She's muted.
Muted herself.
Sandra, oh, she can't hear me to tell her what's going on.
He's doing it.
Good job.
Way to go, Tom.
I can't hear you.
She needs to,
Will you message her?
she needs to just go out and come back in and
Can you message her?
do the,
You want
She
me to-
got it, she got it.
Did she? Did you-
Thank
Mark,
Can you hear us now?
I can.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you, Tom.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh, the wonders of technology.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Really? I wonder how it works.
According to Wikipedia, technology is the subject.
Alexa, you're not invited to this meeting.
Gotta love when she's helpful for no reason.
How do you like that?
oh boy. Anybody that says that Vernon has boring select board meetings really needs to try and join one of these.
Be our star performance here.
All right, so back in August, we had a capital needs assessment done of Vernon town properties. That included the fire department, the rec, the town office building, the town garage. Let's see, the historian buildings, the North School, I don't know. South School, yep, everything.
Highway garage.
And it is a wonderful, thrilling 255 pages. And I'm sure that everybody has read that word for word. And now the capital plan, we need to figure out how this fits into the actual capital plan and whether we're on track with the funds that have been designated over the years, or whether we need to start looking in a different direction based off from the information that we have. So with that, I would ask if the capital plan committee has any questions, or maybe you guys could take it from here and tell us what you need would be helpful.
The first thing I would like to know, Maggie said she was waiting for a PDF so she could print out each department head section of it. Like, we had her print our 12 pages out, and each of us has those 12 pages. Do the department heads have their section of this report yet?
Fantastic question. I cannot answer that until tomorrow.
Okay, but there was supposed, she had asked for this company to send a PDF. And she said she printed my 12 pages out, but she had a hard time printing them, based on the format that was sent to us that we could look up online, because I did look at all 260 pages, or how many it is. And so we should have a printout for each department, and a printout of those departments for each of our committee members. So like Joyce does, David should have one, Joyce should have one, that type of thing. The other thing is I sent you, Chris, a note about a grant that Maggie said she was working on for a truck for $65,000. At first I thought it was David's truck, and then when I looked at the capital plan projections and updated them for this year, I see the 65 is for the fire department. Did you get that email from me?
I would love to tell you that I didn't, Linda, but yes, I did. I did not follow up on that, other than I know that the grant was not finished, and it was specific for their brush truck replacement.
Right. And so that would be $65,000. I don't know if you have the information to follow up on it or not, or if that's something, whatever information you do have, if you could, I don't know how to write a grant, but we could at least follow up to see where she ended up and what they might need. Do we have anybody that knows how to write grants?
Not in the building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Tim did.
All right, that's that. Just for a little update for our committee, Joyce is not joining us today because she's out of town, but she will be back and be able to work with David on his department.
Great. Thank you.
I went through and looked at all of the line items on the 12 pages ones that were capital plan items, 10,000 or more. And some of the ones we have, but a lot of them we don't have because we weren't concentrating on building. The only thing we really have is the money that we started saving for the down here fuel tanks in ground. We had started saving, let's see, as of this year, 1920, we had $15,000 saved. So it had been estimated that David thought it might be 200,000, and we had started to save. So we have relatively little money saved. We do have some for the roofing because that's one of the things that they have on there. We do have some money saved for the roofs, but and we have some money saved for the boiler in the town office, and
Good.
most of that stuff we don't have money saved for. So we can either look at their projections and just for instance, on, where is that? Excuse me, there's so many pages. If we go to the highway garage, it shows the underground fuel tanks, the unleaded tank, and a diesel tank. We have a little bit of money saved. It says we have a year to save 26 each for the unleaded gas and the diesel. Is that in a requirement by the state, or is that just something that they say we have to have? Because my understanding from David is we were waiting to hear exactly when the state was going to need that replaced. And that's why we did start a couple of years ago, just putting a little bit of money in there. So those are some questions that we have. We can go through here if you like, not tonight, but go through and everything that's 5 years or under, look to see about building it in here. A lot of the things are under $10,000, and the department should be able to work those into their budgets, working with and making determinations what you feel needs to be done. But there are some things that I saw, like at the town office, replacing the ornamental fencing, the wrought iron fencing. Well, why should we spend money replacing the wrought iron fencing if it's not really necessary? I mean, it's there as an ornament to make it look good, but it's not doing anything, and that's extra money. So those are things that if that were my home, I would definitely replace the roof, but I definitely would not replace the wrought iron fencing, you know, if you're looking at a budget. So do you want us to go through and look at items like that?
Linda, I think the fencing is there because they didn't want kids falling down and rolling down into the parking lot.
And we don't have kids here anymore. They're at the school.
It still is kind of
They do come to the library and stuff.
yeah, it is a hill there, and they probably addressed that because it's very rusted, and there's parts of it that are actually bent. So, but it's
I mean,
certainly not a priority with
Yeah,
everything else.
yeah, but I think that's why it was put in.
I think
Yeah.
what needs to happen is that we need to go through this and do exactly that. We need to prioritize some of these things.
Right.
Some of these things are probably ridiculous, and they're engineers, they're going to put that in here. And that's great, because that's what we asked them to do. But I don't think that we need to become overly focused on that. Any chance that there was some good news in there, that some of the things that we had been saving up for may not need to happen as soon as we had planned?
Not that I noticed.
Great.
Thanks, Linda. She was doing so good till then.
Yeah, before we let her into this meeting, she
I
was
know.
doing great.
Tom, you were looking at that too. What did you find?
No, actually, I wasn't looking at that specific issue. I was trying to get a sense of how they organized the report and just take in the fact that the overwhelming majority of the items listed are not in the present capital plan. We typically have somewhere around 30 items on the capital plan, and I would say the large majority of those are vehicles. So the fire department vehicles and the highway department vehicles, and there are some items that pertain to buildings, as Linda has already referred to. But as opposed to the 30 items on the capital plan, typically this needs assessment has a total of 196 items. But as Linda also pointed out, a lot of them, most of them, are below the $10,000 threshold. The capital plan requires that for an item to be included on it, it has to be both a capital expenditure and also have a cost of $10,000 or more. And there are some that are close to that amount but below it. But out of the 196, there's only 59 that are $10,000 or more. And so I would think.
I'm sorry, you said how many? I'm sorry to interrupt, Tom.
59.
59,
Yeah,
thank you.
I counted 59 items in the needs assessment spreadsheet that are $10,000 or more, and therefore theoretically would be includable in the capital plan. So it wouldn't be 59 plus 30 because some of the 30 already in the plan might be duplicated by some of those 59, but the great majority would be new to the plan. So we would, I think, a logical place to start is to go through those 59 new items, determine which ones are not new, and try to synthesize so it works with the entries we were in the capital plan. But then as to the new items, we would do, I guess, an assessment as to whether they're really needed along the lines of what Linda was just describing. Just because it's in the needs assessment, does that really mean that we want to start appropriating funds for those items just automatically, or are we going to use judgment to eliminate some because they are less important, or I guess, as you say, prioritize? Another thing I noticed is that they've assisted us by figuring out the useful life of each item and how many more years of useful life the items presently have, and then they've assigned the cost for the replacement item to the year that they've calculated it will be needed. Of course, the way the capital fund operates, we don't wait until the year something is needed or the year before and put the entire cost there. We spread it out over a number of years dictated by the policy on the capital plan. So the more an item costs, the more years the cost is spread over. So one of the tasks we would have, once we add items from the needs assessment to the capital plan, is to look at the year when they say it's going to be needed and then apply the formula more or less and spread the costs back over the preceding years to an appropriate extent. So that's sort of, I think, a starting task for us in assessing the new items. One of the things I noticed, I mean, we're used to going to the department heads and talking to them about the new pumper truck that they've got on the list, or the resurfacing of a tennis court or something. But there are some of these items that they may not have really thought about, because most of this involves the buildings just the buildings as a whole, but all the component parts. So many of the items listed are, switching gear and furnaces and water heaters and so forth, that I don't know if all the department heads have been thinking along those lines, but they presumably will have to going forward. There are also some buildings or areas that, for example, the South School, the Vernon Historical Museum, there's a question as to who we would be discussing items that fall under that heading with. I don't know if the historians, for example, would be in a position to make judgments about, the roof and expenditures like that, other leaks or problems, overaged electrical systems, so forth, that might need replacing. So we would have to get an understanding of who we would have such discussions with.
Good question.
Who is responsible for that building?
Another good question.
Well,
The town
we're
owns
going to
it.
be meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock, our committee. If we have direction from you, what we can do is take those 59 items and take a look at what matches up to what we're already saving, and come back to you with a timeline that they're showing it needs to be done. There aren't that many that have to be done in the first 2 years. That I do know. So we can come back to you with a timeline on those 59 items, if you like, after we have our meeting and our committees start to work.
Yeah, that would definitely be appreciated for sure.
But in the meantime, we'll need you to get copies of the pages
Yeah.
to each department so they know what they have to do.
Luckily, I'm off tomorrow.
I was gonna say, I don't know if there's something I could do to help you with that. I can't print them, but
I'll just have to come in here tomorrow and we'll do the best to make copies of each
if you
department.
don't have the PDF, I can at least call the company and ask them to send the PDF.
We should all have it in our emails still.
I just looked and I couldn't find that PDF, but if
You want me to call them tomorrow?
well, hold on.
and-
If we can find it somewhere here, we'll happily send it out.
Okay.
My computer at home better.
As far as the historian question, I don't have an answer for you right now. I do know that last Thursday we had the meeting where we put together the advisory committee for the fire department. We did briefly speak with retired Chief David Emery about getting with somebody from your committee at the fire department to answer any questions or to be able to look at whatever you may need down there. I think he's probably the most knowledgeable one to assist through that. And I would happily join in with whoever is, who from your committee would be responsible for that.
Well, right now, I'll do that because Rita did the fire department, but she's resigned from the committee because of family issues.
Okay.
So, I can do that.
All right. So let's, at your convenience, let's set something up with the three of us and we'll meet down there and we'll take a look around and see what needs to happen.
Well, being retired, I'm up at 5. I'm gonna meet at 5.
Michael just volunteered. He'll see you at 5.
So just because I retired doesn't mean my body says, get up, get up. So whenever it works for you and David, why don't you give me a call? The only time I'm really scheduled is for our committee meetings, which are on Wednesday at 10 o'clock.
Okay. I am meeting with the advisory committee again this Thursday. So let me try and set something up with him and we'll get back to you. unless you need to do it between now and then.
No,
Okay. And then if you could look over those 59 items in comparison to the 30 that are already on there that Tom mentioned and give us that timeline or your recommendations, that would certainly be appreciated.
I think that's doable.
Awesome. And then do you foresee out of this information any drastic changes that need to be made to the capital plan this year?
I haven't seen anything that drastically needs to be done this year. The closest thing is the 26.5 or whatever it is for each of those 2 tanks, which are supposed to be done within the year. Now that I can check with David, and because Joyce would do David, but she is not here. So I can call David and ask him about that, because when we were setting this up, David wasn't even sure when the government was going to require those underground tanks. So,
Okay.
I'll check with David, but that looks like the only thing that would need to go into the budget for this coming year is that. But that's on a quick glance. I looked through it, marked everything in yellow, and I'd have to go back through. And when we meet tomorrow, I can give you a better answer when you call me back after your meeting.
Okay. Linda, I'm going to shoot you a message right now with my cell phone number. If you guys have any questions about this or anything at your meeting tomorrow, please feel free to reach out.
Tom or Sandra, do you have any other questions or something clarification you want?
No, not at this time.
I have just a couple of quick comments. One, I think we all recognize that having this information now is going to, at least initially, create significantly more work and ultimately some more cost. But I think that at least our committee is really happy that the select board hired these consultants and went through the process to get this report, because these are expenses that are going to happen one way or another, and at least now we know about them, hopefully well in advance of any problems coming up, and it gives us a framework to work from. So I would say congratulate the select board on having taken the bull by the horns and got this report. The other thing is that, as I said before, it may be that given the level of sophistication required for understanding some of the component systems in these various buildings, I'm not sure whether it's realistic to expect the heads of the departments that occupy the various buildings to have the necessary knowledge to deal with that, and I'm wondering if the select board wants to consider having some body who has the expertise for plumbing and electrical, heating systems and so forth, that could help with this process, that is in assessing whether things are really in a state of needing to be replaced, and whether there are cheaper alternatives, et cetera, et cetera.
Sandra?
Well, in response to what the question Tom just had, I'm wondering if the company that made up this report, do they have someone, I mean, is it perhaps part of the service that after they submit the report to us, that they would have a representative come and talk with us, or talk with people in the town, maybe more people than just our committee one? Maybe some of the select board wants to attend, but and so we can have a little discussion and explanation about some of these, because I think we need a little bit more than just handing us a pile of papers. I would expect that they would provide a little bit of guidance, you know, a few hours anyway to go along with the report.
I don't think we
Does that
asked
make
for that.
sense? Or am I dreaming?
That wasn't part of the deal.
Yeah, I don't think that was.
Did you ever see the whole report, or, cause there's a lot of notes that they wrote? Did you ever see all of that part?
We have a link that was sent to us
Entire report.
by Maggie
Okay,
that we can look at we can look at the 250 plus pages,
okay.
which
good.
I did look at them, and there are a lot of things like you said. I only asked to have printed out for our committee what pertained to our committee.
Yep,
That's why I wondered if the report was printed out for each of the department heads so they are aware. And then what I had asked Maggie is when she printed it out for the department heads to make a copy, so like Joyce would have the ones for David, Sandra would have the ones for the library, Tom would have the ones for the rec department, that type of thing. So that was why I asked that question at the beginning meeting with you. But I think we have the directive from you. We can get started. And we'll be, I'm sure, talking again.
Linda, I'll be down here first thing in the morning to make the copies. I do have to run to Brattleboro right after that, so I would not be able to get them to the department heads until maybe tomorrow afternoon. And Michael is available as well. So we will try and get that done tomorrow so that everybody can be on the same page and moving forward.
Okay.
And
can you make a copy? If you make a copy of the total pages, I can divide the pages and give it to everybody for our committee. So we would need a complete 250, 260, whatever it is, pages.
okay,
And I can divide that for our committee.
sure.
It really is important to have it in writing because to try to look at it at the computer and then remember where you're going from one to the other is impossible.
I think we all agree. That's why we all have one. So yeah, that's fine. We'll get on that first thing tomorrow. I appreciate you guys putting the amount of time in and looking over this and figuring out that there's really 59 out of 190 things that we need to focus on and look at. So Tom, thank you for breaking that down like that. And I will speak for everybody around this table that it is very nice to hear kind words from members of the community. So thank you for that, Tom. But we definitely appreciate all of the hard work that you guys have put into this. And we're looking forward to working on it more going forward so that we can make sure everything is taken care of here in town.
Thank you.
I would just add to what I had said in light of your last comment that although 59, it's only 59 of the items out of the 196 or whatever the numbers are that are relevant to the capital plan. All of the rest of the items are expenditures that are going to have to occur. They would just happen, I think, through the operating budgets of the relevant departments. So,
Right. Understood.
okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for any of the members of the committee or members of the committee questions for us?
so,
No.
can I ask you, do you want just the sections in the front where they actually kind of wrote up a summary, not all their notes in the back for each department, right?
We want the whole report.
But for each
Promise.
I can do a whole one for you, but for each department, you wanted to give each department something? And
Each department should have whatever pertains to that department.
within the
Because
whole
that's
thing?
the only way And honestly, I can't answer your question
Okay.
because I did look at it 2 or 3 times, but I don't really, I could not tell you exactly what's in it and how it is, but I know that there's
Okay.
tons of information in there.
Yeah.
Linda, may I ask a follow-up to that? If we do, so this is broken out, so section 7 is the Vernon Rec Center. If I print section 7 and we get that over to Seth, if Seth has more in-depth questions about something specific, then could we go into all of the handwritten notes that are in the back, or are you asking us to
Yes.
hand? So I don't need to give him all of the notes right off the bat.
Give them at least the beginning of the budgets like we have right here on the first 12 pages that I have for us. It doesn't have the notes, it just has the 12 pages.
Okay,
So that gives them something to look at when they're building their budgets.
correct. All right, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I'm glad that we were able to meet this evening and try and get on the same page with this. I think that this is going to be beneficial for the town moving forward. It may come as a shock in the beginning here, but I think moving forward, this is definitely going to be what's best for us.
Right.
All right, well, have a good evening.
You as well. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
All right. Now we are on to property management discussions. So we had discussed at our last meeting the potential of hiring a property management company that may take care of the inside and outside of the building, including snow removal, lawn care, and general building stuff. What do we want to do? I know that Gene had discussed hiring somebody for the building, and then we ended up coming to this one to see where we might get with that. Are we to the point of wanting to do an RFQ? In which case,
Should get an idea what the cost would. That's the only way to get to find out what the cost would be.
yeah, the only fair way.
I agree.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're talking about till we kind of know the money.
All right.
So, who makes those up?
Yeah, that was my next question.
I guess, we had, and I don't even know where these are, but we had RFPs for all these, all the things that we're gonna cover here in terms of the snow, the groundskeeping, the cleaning.
Combine them all.
Yeah, cause a lot of it is the legal part, which would stay the same.
Yeah.
And just get, I don't even know where those are.
They're probably on the computer.
Yeah, and so the best thing would be to be able to just, move things around and not.
Pretty deal.
I'll make you a deal, Chris. I'll do copying, you do the RFP.
How is that even a deal?
Well, you were saying you were gonna come in and do the copying. I'll do that.
Oh,
Because the
man.
library printer won't flip the pages upside down.
Nice.
Because if you double side from town clerk's office, you can't turn like this. You
If
have
I
to
pull
go-
this up, you can't see what I'm saying to you, huh?
You have to put them in the town clerk's office like
What's
sideways. It would be on the same, it'd be the same as yours.
Yeah, but if you're printing from a file in your computer.
right.
All right. Well, who has been doing the snow removal? Because that is going to be the bigger issue. I mean, the lawn and that stuff. So, is that contract still good, or is that up for bid now?
Hold on,
So you're our contracting officer.
let's see what we got here.
Because that's really going to depend, or that's going to determine how quickly this needs to be put together.
And remember, we're talking about not this winter, but the next.
Right.
Oh, all right. Then, yeah, I
Because-
So
accept
we
your,
have
I
plenty of
accept your
How's
offer.
that? Is that a good?
Yeah, I'll
That's
take
an
that because I
excuse.
don't have to do that tomorrow, so that'll be perfect. I mean, sometime in the near future, but not tomorrow. So, do we need a motion to put that out to RFQ, or what do you
I
want to
think
do?
we should do it do the RFQ first and then,
Got it, okay. And that's going to be for snow, lawn, potentially cleaning, and general maintenance,
right,
if we can.
Oh, this is interesting.
you may find it'd be less expensive to hire someone.
Maybe. Maybe.
The problem that we decided is to pre-buy all the equipment. That's why we decided to look into this other one. So we got rid of everything.
Was really great.
Not the first time that's happened in this town, huh?
I know, so-
Get rid of something and. Alright.
Yeah, so the only original RFPs I have, were done in 2017. Yep. We are ready to do something different.
Okay.
Well, they are, but I'm not taking all that.
I don't mind typing.
That's all three?
That has cleaning, landscape services, and snow removal services.
Look at that, my job's done.
Okay, so I'm doing all the jobs now?
Yeah!
That.
Perfect, man, this just got way better. Alright,
There
so,
must be a file somewhere.
yeah, I'll look for that, and if I can't find one, then I will come visit you.
I can type if it needs to be retyped.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know what, so much of it is just
Done.
the legal part,
Yeah, so we're just gonna have to combine.
and then it's the actual, there's like a page of actual dues.
So does that mean that our snow removal is all set for this year?
Probably make sure we are
Check
questioning
the
it.
contract with Cindy.
Yeah, I would. Did you say talk to Cindy on it? Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause these are just the blanks, I don't have
The
the
official.
signed contracts
Right.
somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. Try to get copies of yours.
Alright. We can move on from there. Next on the agenda is the town administrator recruitment discussion. In an effort to be upfront with everybody, we are going to enter into an executive session for that. Unless there is any opposition, I would really like to get through the rest of the old business because Heather is here. And unless anybody has an issue with that, I would ask that we can.
Put it up to the end.
Thank you. So town office reopen discussion. Every department head in this building, the listers, the treasurer, the town clerk, has given us what they propose on how they plan to reopen their specific portion of the office. I want to just make sure it's clear that the library is completely separate from that, and that will be up to their board of directors, not this discussion here. So my thought is that we have a plan that is been put out by each department. It is their department. They have thought it through. Mr. Emery has been a part of that, measuring distances, all of that stuff. So I think we're in a good spot to allow the department heads to proceed as they have suggested. Any discussions?
I didn't see a plan from the listers. I
I
saw
thought she did.
Yeah.
clerk
She was
and,
like the first one to do it. It was a real old email.
oh, I got one from Tim like the next day.
Thought she did. Just one.
Goodness, yeah.
I
And then Cindy sent one out.
got Cindy's.
Okay.
Tim immediately responded to your email. And,
to,
September, but
I will resend it in case. And I apologize if I am missing emails. I have emails for the TA and the fire chief and assistant fire chief all coming to my email on top of all the other emails that we get. So some things may have gotten missed. But I did just send that to everybody.
Senior Solutions should probably.
So my question to them also is, are they gonna just open the lobby doors up there?
So,
Because I see a lot of things talk about appointments.
and the Chief Emery had suggested at one point that we may even look at like a hybrid model where maybe the clerk's office is open Tuesday from 8 to noon and the treasurer's office is open, but the building would still be locked, but people are able to come in with an appointment. We're expecting them, that type of thing. And then as we go forward, if that works, then maybe Tim opens Tuesday and Thursday and we continue to go that way, but more of a slow and soft opening with a steady goal in mind. Obviously, looking at everything that's going on around us, that could be taken back at any time as well.
maybe something use a doorbell for each office. Cheap and easy, because if not, I mean, I see people all the time out there, they're on the phone trying to get a hold of somebody. If somebody doesn't have a phone, how do they get a hold of somebody, or, you know, if
Good
they have a
point.
doorbell, or, I don't wanna say intercom system, that's too expensive. That way that department knows somebody's here to see that department.
Yeah,
So Tim's
because-
not getting up every single time to do it for everyone.
Exactly.
It's only three departments, right?
Right.
3 doorbell buttons labeled for each one. Like $25 a piece.
Yeah, for a wireless doorbell, or not very much.
Those aren't expensive.
No.
Could you guys do like a centralized appointment book and do it by appointment since we're still dealing with COVID? I know Tim does a lot by appointment right now,
Yeah, I'm
and
just
if
trying to
you
figure-
can try to do as much by appointment as possible, then that might help you set up your day and you'll know who needs to answer the door.
Not a bad idea.
Just thinking.
Thank you. Until
Yeah, because I didn't know what the status of the lobby was gonna be, because
You can pick up like a wedding reception binder or something like that, or any kind of binder, or really work. Maybe something from the school or
We already
whatever.
have
That
one in our email.
just put the date at the top, and at the end of the day, everybody puts their appointments that are set for the next day or something. I don't know. Just kind of throwing it out there.
right.
we can't really open the lobby because you'd have to take all those books out and all the
Yeah.
magazines out.
No, if they touch them, they can take them for a fee.
You're gonna make some money on this too, aren't you?
Absolutely. But if that lobby was open, I did not want the library unlocked, because, of course, it has to do with approval, but I'm proposing very slow opening
Yeah,
by appointment only,
because all your
because of
stuff
the
is,
spacing is an issue
you
in
can't
there.
you go to Dartmouth, there's no magazines.
Yeah. Well, people don't tend to sit there and use them and put them back, like the book sale stuff
Mhm.
usually does them. But yeah, within the library, and
Yeah.
so, yeah, I was planning to let people in as it was their appointment time, not just hold the door.
Yeah, and I think that was certainly the feeling that I got from David, was that's what he really felt we should be going towards, is the appointment. I do think that, Michael's idea with the doorbell would make sense, that if you've made the appointment and it's 2 minutes to 8, we know that we're expecting you, and that's going to ring in the treasurer or the lister's office, and we know exactly who's doing what. They are responsible for their own guests, which
Yep.
is something we had discussed before, that they need to clean after their guests leave. So that would really, I would feel good about that.
Yeah, that's a good solution to that, and not having it all in, and one department that's close to the door.
So do we feel that if we were to tell each department head that they could, maybe we say each department is open 1 day a week for a minimum of 3 hours by appointment only, and it's up to the 3 departments here to figure out who's taking what day. Obviously keeping in mind that Tim would still have to remain a little bit fluid with records and things like that.
Right.
So, maybe Tim is doing Tuesday and Thursday, the listers is Monday and treasurers is Wednesday. I'm not sure, something like that. But then they can come up with it as long as they have our permission to open the building under a hybrid model, something similar to that, and we will purchase some doorbells.
So moved.
Moved and seconded to allow each department, the lister's office, the treasurer's office, and the clerk's office, to reopen under a hybrid model that those 3 department heads can determine amongst themselves. And we could say that this would be effective on the 13th of October, which is next Tuesday.
Did you give you time to get the doorbells?
Doorbells, and so that they can figure out who wants what, and Monday is a holiday, so.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Uh,
Aye. Opposed? Perfect. Heather, discussion on South School Annex roof and ceiling. The other day you sent me an email saying that now we want to just build boxes in every one of those and hold the insulation up a little bit more permanently in there. Am I hearing you correctly?
I wanted to retract the request to do the insulation and the roof,
Yep.
and just do the roof this year, and try to do the roof with this year's budget, and then budget for would be 21, 22,
Yep.
and do budget for the insulation in that budget, 21, 22, and do it for all the bays, so we don't have to go back.
When do we see you again in the budget meeting, Heather?
I'm thinking November, but I'm not real sure.
Is it November? Okay, so we've got some time here then. So,
And I just, cause I'm thinking, I mean, I've been down, it hasn't rained that much, but we've had some rain, and every time I go down, I don't think I've been there during the rain, but I can never find, I have a bucket underneath there, I can never find any actual water. So I'm thinking that the roof is probably the most important thing, would be this year, and that it shouldn't, I don't know, but I'm hoping that it wouldn't cost that much. It might be a slight problem.
yeah, I mean, that's going to be really hard to plan a budget around, and we're not even sure what's wrong with the roof, right? Because you got $500 to work with right now.
Right.
Yeah. So we got
So to have somebody go up there, and it could be, it could be a screw that missed one of the joists that backed out. I don't, or could be, I don't know.
Sometimes they need to get resealed, or they're worked out a little bit and is leaking around them, but you have to get up on top of the roof to see down.
Yeah.
all right.
So I guess the first step would be to have somebody look at it.
It would be, and then we would have to put it out to bid.
Now, if somebody looked at it and gave you an estimate and it's under a certain amount, do you have to put it out to bid?
Everything should be put out to bid.
But that's not the bid policy.
If it's within
everything should be put out for bid to give everybody the option.
Oh,
We wanna
okay.
be open for let anybody in town that does that for a job to get the option to bid on it. That's not fair if you just pick one company, cause it shows favoritism.
Okay, understand.
Yeah, so you could ask several, not everybody might be interested, but.
But I think to get to that point, we have to identify the problem, don't we?
But you,
We
to
can
identify the problem, you need to get somebody, somebody there, a roofer, to look at it.
Well, I think you put it out there that you have a leaking roof.
You want
And
that,
you
they
want
come,
it
they come look
assessed
at it,
and-
assess it, to give you the
yeah.
bid.
Yeah.
Any real
What
company's
happens
gonna
when you
look at
get
it.
3 different people saying 3 different spots are bad?
That makes it interesting.
Well,
I mean, I guess, yes, if it's as simple as a screw backed out or something, that would be easy to identify, but we don't even have water over there that would give them the ability to soak that down to be able to see where I'm not a roofer, so I don't know what the heck they need, but
Roofers they generally look and they know what they're looking for.
yeah,
I mean,
that's the thing of it, they get up there and it usually becomes apparent where the
Okay.
problem is.
and sometimes it's not, I mean,
Yeah.
cause it can always travel. That's the problem, it can be leaking down here, but the leak is actually 6 feet up.
yep. Yeah.
Which is better, I mean, at least you have a general location instead of looking at the whole roof. But,
And it is a metal roof, so, corrugated, I guess. you
How
call it.
old is that?
I have no clue.
Because that metal's only good for what, 20, 25 years?
Mhm.
I remember this.
It's not, I don't think it's not that old.
I will tell you, I don't know if this will help you. Dick Tripp was involved with the
Yeah,
story.
yes, he was.
Conrad and Cortland was on the board.
I mean, I could pull the documents from the file cabinet.
Well, I mean, are we talking 25 years? Are we talking 15 years?
I
Rough.
think we're talking
Oh, more
25.
towards 25.
Yeah, by far.
So, I mean, we might be way over your $500 budget.
And what
At
does
25
that
years.
say?
What's that?
They look at that building with that.
Hmm.
Cause that might be coming up from something else.
When they, you probably weren't down there when they did that needs assessment and
No.
inspected everything. I just wondered. I don't think it was obviously leaking then, though.
No, I mean, that was the first time I've ever seen
It is
Was the day of
6.2.
the day
craft
of
fair
the
things.
the
Okay.
mums and more sale.
So it was.
Because that's like one of the things I always check for, especially in the,
Yeah, the assessment was done before that.
I look at the walls to make sure there's no stain and, there's no,
We
because
didn't do
I
the
would think if
sheet
there was a
of
lot of
insulation.
water, that insulation would just sag and hold it. It would be,
Yeah. There was a lot of rain that day. There was a lot of water that day.
there was no wind. We didn't have any wind that day.
No.
So in this assessment under the Annex building, it says it's 6.3.7. The roof on this building is of metal sheeting. These roofs have a relatively long life, but other problems often lead to repairs or replacements. Screws popping and wind damage will commonly occur and be cause of periodic maintenance, and as with other relatively long-lived roofing materials, damage to the underlying structure from leaks is often the cause of extensive repair or replacement. The roofing appears to be relatively new, of standard quality, and should give many years of relatively problem-free service. With any roof, regardless of age, minor leakage, this can occur, blah, blah, blah.
Well, it may be an issue with a screw or nail,
First thing we should
popping.
find out how old it is, if it's got any warranty or not.
It's definitely
Oh,
not warranted.
Some of those lives are warranted for, depending on the builder and the material supplier, have warranties for the material for a certain amount of years. Like shingle companies and roofing companies, metal companies usually have a certain amount of years they guarantee their products.
I think that's a Morton
And we
building.
can't say we don't unless we look.
I think that's a Morton building.
all the information is in the cabinet, in the room over here. If someone has a key, I could go get it.
Do you have a key for that?
I do not.
It uses the same key as the door.
Only if you have the access.
We only have certain doors.
Ah.
All right, so I don't really know how to proceed because we need more information, but
So you call a roofer.
Yeah, with complaint of a leak.
Yes, that's what you would do at your house. You'd say, my roof
Yeah.
leaks, come look at it.
Yeah.
But then what
But you
I'm
could
hearing
call
is that you'd have to call 3 people,
Yeah.
or could you call 1 and then call 3?
You call one and find out what's wrong with it, and then put it out for bid to get fixed with what they say.
Well, everybody might wanna look and see what they think.
Yeah.
is
I
the
mean, everybody's
problem.
gonna look at anything if they bid on it, they're smart.
Yeah. So I would say you would call 3 different,
Roofers and
Roofers.
say it's leaking.
You want me to call 3 roofers?
sure, that'd be wonderful. If somebody else could do something, that would be awesome. And I don't mean that, I just mean I don't know,
I don't.
I don't
We
have
can't
access to
even get
that
in that
building.
building.
Yeah, I mean, it would make no sense for any of us to be calling them. We don't have access to that building. We don't know where the leak is. We don't have any idea what's going on down there. Other than there's a leaky roof in those 3 bays that you showed me. With the insulation. But that's the extent of the knowledge I have of that building.
So, but see, that's where it gets weird. So I get the roofers there, but I have, they
you're
need to
asking-
report to you.
You're asking them for a estimate, a quote,
Yeah,
which should be a written thing,
okay.
and that would come to us.
Can I have it sent to the select board?
Sure. You could have them hand it to you and you could bring it here. I don't care how we get it, but somehow we need to, I mean,
Because if this roof leaked, what would you do?
if
What we said.
Yeah. we would have people come and look at it.
Yeah, to give a quote, you need a written estimate.
Do you have a list of roofers?
I see what she's saying. She doesn't know who to call.
I don't even know who to call.
I can get with you, I know some after this.
Okay.
I mean,
I could look in look up
I
in
know,
the,
I know local
I guess
ones.
you'd call it the phone book.
I would think for that Brattleboro roofing would be your first one because they do a lot of metal
Barrows is
roofing.
local. and
Oh yeah,
Vernon,
Barrows is right in
Slade, right in
town.
Guilford.
Um,
I think what's the big name company? 603 Roofing,
Is
big
that-
company.
Yeah, I don't know those.
I mean,
So I'm giving you the names, you can look,
Yeah.
to look
It-
them up.
Okay.
really just pick 3 roofers and
Yeah.
because we need something to go by. You want $500 to put those things in, which $500 isn't going to cover it when we add all of them to it. We still have the issue of the leaky roof. When we look at that insulation has water damage. So if we're going to put money into it, we really need to be. We would need to look at that too. It wouldn't make any sense to put those boxes up there to hold insulation down that has absolutely no R value left because it's all condensed.
So are you asking her to get bids on the insulation? and
I was
everything?
just trying to lay out why we need so much to say that we need some money to do this project when we don't know what the full depth of that project is becomes problematic.
And I don't have the time to figure that out for
Sure.
you.
Yeah, and none of us have that time. That's the problem we run
I don't have
into.
that time right now.
So where are the rest of the historians? Where is anybody else that can meet somebody down there that we can schedule a time that somebody can get in there on that roof and looking at these problems?
I mean, we could leave a key here at the town office.
And then who has to, where, so Now I have to find time to do that on top. I mean, that's the issue is none of us have time. So we have to work together to try and figure this out the best way that it makes sense.
I have a suggestion.
Please.
We could write up, and I would be happy to help with this. We could write up an invitation to bid and send it to the roofers. And for inspection would be on Thursday, whatever Thursday is, a Thursday, between 2 and 3 in the afternoon. If you could be there, you know, pick a time that you could be there.
Yeah,
And if those that come can bid, and if they don't come, you put it out to them. If you only get back one bid, you have given them the opportunity to bid.
and that would suffice your requirement
That
for
would
3
cover
bids.
That's what the other departments have done.
Okay, see, yeah, that makes
That's
sense,
true.
rather than going there
Yeah.
3 times and where do you post it in the newspaper or?
No, we just mail it to roofers. Well, yeah, the newspaper would cost more than the bid.
Okay,
So just mail it to people that do roofing. And Michael, if you get me a list of that,
Yeah, I'll give you a list.
I'll type up something and I'll send it to you, you proof it. If it's okay, I'll send it out,
okay.
okay? Get myself a note 'cause I'll forget. Heather. Invitation to bid. Okay.
Any other discussion on that? So we're the ceiling portion of that, we're looking at 21, 22. We don't need to worry about that right now. The interior.
I would like to budget that for,
Oh, that would be 22, 23, wouldn't it?
No, because she's gonna do this year.
21, what budget?
Right. Okay.
21,
Yep.
22.
Yep. You're right.
21, 22?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that way we would have it in the budget
For that.
So
for then, because right now we have nothing.
right.
We don't have any, and I was just hoping that we might have enough money in the budget to do the roof, small roof leak this year.
Hopefully small.
Yeah, it can't be big.
How many bays are in there?
There's 10 bays, 5
10
on each side.
10 bays, and
10.
you had been given a quote 5 on. Okay, and you
So-
had been given a quote on 3 of those, right?
The 750 was for one.
I already sent them.
Okay, thanks.
One of them is in Vernon.
If I have it.
Slate is actually on the Vernon.org page. Vernon roofer.
Great.
6 sections were 745. So I just
Send it to my
so I,
Selectboard.
I'm sorry, 6 was how much?
6 was 745. So I just divided it and came up with like 124 and estimated.
124.16, 124.16 times.
But
so
unfortunately, building materials
A triple.
have
they're coming down by then.
yeah. They've gone up. They've gone up.
I get that, but where
Yeah.
I was headed with that is that if we add 10 to that, even at the price that you gave us, that's what, $12.46,
It
which
just-
is $750 more than what your budget allows. So then so when we see you in November, you might need to increase that in preparation.
right.
So you might want to think about that for next year's budget, that you've potentially got a $1,500 project sitting there.
Right.
So you would need to put that into your,
Well, yes, that's what I'm proposing. Yes. That.
at the budget meeting
the
in
budget
November.
meeting, yes.
Okay, perfect. Fantastic. All right, any other questions? Comments, concerns? Sandy has 3 roofing companies. She'll get that drafted up and sent over to you, and we'll try and get this ball rolling as soon as
Great.
possible.
Great.
And then the only other thing that would need to be worked out is a timeline that would work for somebody to meet them there, whether it's you or
Yep.
Mr. Hammond or somebody that could meet somebody there and let them in.
Right.
So do you guys have a historians meeting coming up anytime soon?
Sometime after October 13th.
It would probably be best if you just maybe sent an email out to a few people on there and found out who had what for availability coming up and what's a realistic timeline to.
Yeah.
But just something to think about. Okay?
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you very much.
All right.
Did you hear back from Seth?
No. I also have crappy service down there. All right. Hopefully I hear back from him if that actually sends. In the meantime, the new deputy chief of the EMS, I was shocked. I was down at the fire station on Sunday. They had their first EMS meeting. Everybody was there. The new deputy chief's girlfriend made cinnamon buns, and you guys missed out.
You didn't tell us.
There was a reason I didn't tell you. And everybody was there that was going to be on the new EMS squad or the ones that have returned so far. And they showed up ready to work. They cleaned their station, the EMS side of it. They reorganized everything. They went through every piece of equipment and gear that they're responsible for. And they did it with the most pleasure that I have ever. I mean, they were just having so much fun together. They were getting along. It was very reassuring, and I was very happy to the point that I couldn't wait to leave so that they could just enjoy it amongst themselves and do what they needed to do. So with that being said, all of the EMS supplies are currently up to date. There is going to be a need for, I'm going to say equipment, but it's more gear that they would need, I guess. Some of their response gear, their coats, things like that, that they would be responsible for wearing in the event that they had to be inside of a car for extrication or things like that. They are outdated. I have asked them to come up with a fundraiser because Vernon has always done a nice ham dinner or something along those lines. And maybe this year we are much more focused on they need these specific things. This is the dollar amount and let's do this. I told them that I would help with the food in any way that they needed so that we could pull this off and hopefully get them what they need, with the understanding that the budget is already shot and that is no fault of their own. So however we can get them re-squared away, I'm there. So with that, we received a letter from Zach Rounds, and I'm going to read it. This letter is to state operational readiness for the Vernon Fire Department to resume emergency medical response effective at 01 hours on 10/8 of 2020. Vernon EMS is ready to resume dispatch notification for all medical-related incidents. Communication with Fire Chief Bacassi of Brattleboro Fire Department was made in regard to alterations needed to currently standing running orders with Keene Mutual Aid. Chief Bacassi successfully assisted in the changes needed for EMS to resume operations with KMA. Understanding that fire-related incidences, including motor vehicle accidents, will still have a mutual aid response. In the circumstance a incident requires fire services and medical services, Vernon EMS will be toned as well as the fire department associated with that location in town, meaning the mutual aid. Chief Hazelton of Rescue Inc. has been updated on the position of the Vernon EMS to resume operations on 10/8/2020, and the chief expressed agreement that we are well prepared to resume answering the call. Sincerely, Zach Rounds. With that, I would make a motion that we grant the permission for Vernon Fire Department's emergency medical response team to begin responding to medical emergencies on the 8th of October, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to allow them to get back on the road. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Awesome. And some people may have seen yesterday that the rescue truck was out and about in town. I apologize. I did give them permission on Sunday to go ahead and resume some drivers training to make sure that they would be all set for this coming week. So I am extremely excited that we are able to get them back on the road. I think that this town is in a great spot because of the people on that department that have stepped back up. We've got some new people that have applied. I'm excited to hand this pile of stuff over to the advisory committee on Thursday and let them get to work on the fire side. I think we have some really exciting things coming forward. So having said that, when you guys see the fundraising coming up, please come out and help them. There is some stuff that they need. The select board is doing the best that we can on the budget side, but certainly those needs are still there.
Yes, there was somebody did a virtual silent auction.
Could be something. They had actually said something about potentially doing a drive-through ham dinner where everybody could pick up. So maybe they could.
Did one last weekend.
Oh yeah.
They had come set up and people drove in, got their food and left, and
Great.
Nice.
it sold out. I have a cousin that lives down the road, like 3 minutes away. Went home to get his wife. Came back. They had 10 tickets. And they had none when he got back. So
And who did that?
the Northfield VFW.
Oh, I saw him.
Hope you're listening, Chief Rounds. Got some work to do.
Yep, they had a smoker out there, so we know who runs one of them.
All right. Zach, you can put your earmuffs back on now. All right. So at I think it was at our last meeting, it was mentioned that the preschool staff, at no fault of their own, is not working in person on Wednesdays because the school is closed, and the school board stance is that it will remain closed on Wednesdays, so the preschool cannot operate. In speaking with Seth, and he did address it when he was with us last time, that they do some prep work, they do lesson plans, they do things that they can to be prepared for the rest of the week. There is some outreach as far as, from my understanding, there's some outreach as far as Zoom meets with some of the kids, and the staff down there tries to keep them engaged the best that they can. I did ask Seth if there was any word in the rumor mill of the Wednesdays being opened back up. He has not heard otherwise. I can say that within my school district, we just opened one school. It is the smallest school that we have. It was presented with some challenges, but it is open. And we are slated to open a couple more over the next 2 months. So seeing how that's going up there, the school that we opened has 23 students in it versus 160. I think that the condition of our school may be better here. So, but either way, there is still nothing saying when that could take place. Thoughts? My opinion is that we are in the exact same situation we were in the springtime. The money's budgeted, it's been voted on. This is not something that they're choosing. I say we.
I move that we do.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Perfect. All right. We are,
Town administrator.
yep, we're going to go on to the town administrator recruitment discussion. Austin, I'm going to leave this up to you, sir. Whether you guys want to hang out for the adjournment of that or what.
Will you be making decisions tonight?
We will, yep.
Okay, I'll hang out.
Yep, sorry, man. You good? All right. We went into executive session at. We went into executive session at 8:29, came out at 8:55. No action was taken.
Mr. Chair, I move that we enter into negotiations with Tom Mineral for part-time intern town administrator at 20 hours per week.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Perfect. One thing that I forgot to mention earlier when we were discussing the town office reopening, it is the select board stance and the town of Vernon stance that we will continue to follow the Vermont state guidelines that they have set forth. Those will include the wearing of face coverings while you are in town buildings or where you cannot maintain the 6-foot social distancing, that we will be sanitizing regularly. If we allow people into the building for your specific department, you are responsible for that person and the cleaning that is required afterwards. I'm sorry? Yes. The restrooms for the town buildings will remain closed to the public. They will be for employees only. Please plan accordingly. I think that's all that we have on that I had forgotten to mention earlier. Public participation on non-agenda. Austin, you got anything? You good? Good. All right. Perfect. Town admin report. Upcoming meeting schedule. We have a budget meeting tomorrow right here. Next week, on the 20th, we have a regular select board meeting, and on the 21st, we have another budget meeting. There is also a advisory committee meeting for the fire department. That will be Thursday at 6 p.m. That will be their first meeting, so we're excited to see that underway. Anybody else have anything? If not, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. That one's going to Miss Carr. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned.